Welcome to the Sussman Shapiro pregame show on GameDay live on theday.com from Waterford High School semifinal number 2 of the ECC boys basketball tournament. Number 4 seed NFA versus number 1 seed Ledyard. And hello everyone, I'm Mark Brown alongside Casey O'Neill, and we already know that Woodstock awaits the winner of this one, so NFA and Ledyard know who the target will be, but they've got to get through this game as well. Now, definitely pressure on both these teams. Look, it's an elimination game, but it seems like for Ledyard, with all their excellence, the trophies haven't come. More pressure on them?
Yeah, absolutely. I spoke to Coach Dave Cornish a few days ago, and he said this is a must-win tournament for us. He said we can't be satisfied with just a good showing. The first step in bringing winning basketball to Ledyard was overcoming the idea that just making noise in a tournament is enough. They want to win this tournament as they head into the state tournament. He has called it a must-win.
And we'll see how they do with that. Want to bring in the third member of our broadcast crew, Dave Edgecombe now, and Dave has some ways where you can stay a little closer touch with tonight's broadcast. Dave?
Thanks, Mark. And as we just catch our breath from the last game, I'm here with Jessica Hopper, the day's social media coordinator, and she's going to clue us in how the new audience can keep in touch with the game.
You guys can add to the conversation on social media tonight using the hashtag GameDayCT. You can also follow the day on Twitter and Instagram at TheDayCT for all the Instagrams from the sidelines. All right, guys?
And as always, I'll be patrolling the sideline. Mark, Casey, I expect another good one.
All right, thanks, Dave. First one was very exciting, that is for sure. Now, both these teams have some outstanding ball players. They're great teams, but we've got some key players to watch. We're going to start with NFA. To a lot of generations, Mr. Clutch is Jerry West, but if you're Norwich Free Academy, it is Marcus Outlaw.
Yeah, you know, he's going to BC to play football, but he might be the day basketball player of the year, too, here in the ECC. He's already won 2 games this year with 3-pointers at the buzzer, including one that beat Waterford in the ECC quarterfinals on Saturday. That's what veteran leadership does. He's a Division I football player, but on the basketball court, he's a pure leader.
Ledyard's got some great players, great balance. But we heard Dave Cornish say at halftime of the first game that the key to Ledyard's success is going to be their player to watch, which is Deontay Bruton.
Yeah, he may be the quickest guard in the ECC, and he's been the difference for them in close games all year long. You know, Coach Cornish said he's now got a trustworthy scorer, ball handler. He was the key ingredient that last year's Ledyard team really lacked. And for Bruton in this game, as a key player of the game, is his decision-making with the basketball. When to drive, when to kick, that's what's going to be important for him.
Well, stars abound in this game, but this player's contributions may not show up on the stat sheet after every game. But senior forward Ibo Rivera has been a big part of NFA's success this year.
Ibo's been a great leader for us this season and a great Wildcat over the course of his career here at NFA. Norwich kid. And always wanted to be a Wildcat, and he plays with a lot of energy and passion and love for this game. If you watch him on the court, he always has a smile on his face.
I'm just a hype guy, basically. Just get everybody hyped, get everybody excited for the game, clap for everybody. I think the defensive guy, basically. The guy that gets block shots, gets a lot of rebounds, dives on loose balls, gets a lot of steals, that type of guy. Because I feel like if I don't do my job on defense, we're not going to do as well in the game as we should. To win. It doesn't matter how we win, just to win. Dive on loose balls, do anything I can do to help the team win.
He makes those plays that need to be made, those plays that really aren't measurable all the time in the stat sheet, but the hustle plays we call them, diving on the floor, getting loose balls, getting big rebounds, getting tips, blocking shots. He'll just do whatever he needs to do to help this team win because he loves being a Wildcat.
I'm glad I have the team I have. They tell me every day that I should be happy I go here and that I'm a senior. And yeah, I have a lot of fun times with these guys.
One thing that you'll always get out of Ibo is 100% energy and a lot of passion and joy for the game. He just continually plays every game like it's his last game.
NFA and Ledyard about ready to go in semifinal number 2 of the ECC Boys Basketball Tournament from Waterford High School. When the Sussman Shapiro pregame show continues, we'll get to know New London athletic legend Troy McKelvin. This is Game Day, live on theday.com.
My name's Jay Berryman. I'm a director and I'm the head of the Workers' Compensation and Social Security divisions of Sussman Shapiro. I think that my favorite part of the job is just the intellectual challenge that still exists. And I enjoy the satisfaction that comes from doing a job well. When a client says, thank you for what you've done, that's makes it pretty rewarding, and why I'm doing this for 30 years now.
Thank you for putting MJ Sullivan Hyundai in the top 15 in the country. We've just been notified that we have won the Hyundai President's Award. We rank in the top 15 dealers nationwide for customer satisfaction, and we're the only dealer in Connecticut to win this award. Consider this: a good deal is not price alone, but it's the service you receive during and after the sale, and that's been the driving force of MJ Sullivan's for nearly 30 years. So come to the MJ Sullivan Automotive Corner in New London or at mjsullivanauto.com, and I personally guarantee you'll be satisfied.
Welcome back to the Sussman Shapiro pregame show on Game Day, live on theday.com. Semifinal number 2, a few minutes away between NFA and Ledyard. Now, Ledyard assistant Troy McKelvin was a 3-sport star at New London. A vocal presence on the sideline, he and fellow former Whaler Dave Cornish have brought New London's winning tradition to Ledyard.
They're playing harder than you are. They're playing harder than you are.
I think I have more of a love for the game than I do for actually coaching. It's just the next step in, continuing to stay in the game now that I can't play anymore. Well, I was fortunate to play for a lot of great coaches, so I have a lot of role models in that sense, and I think I've taken a lot from all of them. I played for Coach Jim Bunicore Sr. in football. I played for Coach Ralph Ruggiero in basketball, and I played for Gil Vargas in baseball. And I think I've taken a little bit of all of them. And I was fortunate to go to Trinity College and play for Coach O'Grodnick. If you show the kids that you care, you can almost say anything you want to them because they know that you care and you want to make them better. And I always tell them, I may yell at you, but I'll be the first one to put my arm around you, to pat you on the butt, to say good job. Even when I'm praising them, I'm still loud, so they're just used to the loudness by now.
Coach Troy's like the loud one, the one that gets you going, the one that's more intense, the one that pushes you more. It makes you want to play harder.
Deontay, why? We're winning. You can hold the ball.
Coach Cornish is born and raised in New London. I'm born and raised in New London. We've known each other since grade school. We only know one way, and that's the way we were taught when we played at New London. So you play for championships, you play defense, you play hard, and you teach the game. And that was the things we wanted to do when we came over, was to really teach the game, to motivate them, to bring a little swagger over here, because the program I think won 2 games in 2 years. When you hear our kids talk now, they talk about state championships. To be an assistant for Coach Cornish and to rebuild the program back from where it was, and when it put a banner up, since it hasn't been done here, would be absolutely phenomenal.
Don't stop playing defense. What's wrong with you guys? You play to the horn sounds. Let's go.
With Woodstock Academy waiting in the final, NFA and Ledyard are about to square off in semifinal number 2 of the ECC Boys Basketball Tournament. That is going to do it for the Sussman Shapiro pregame show. It's Game Day live on theday.com. Starting lineups and the opening tip when we come back.
The future is now. I am in control of my next 4 years.
Education is our passport to the future.
Live the life you imagine.
There are no shortcuts to any place worth going.
This is my classroom.
This is my classroom.
This is our classroom.
Education is the future.
Do something remarkable.
I can be myself.
Welcome to the next 4 years.
Hi, I'm Mark Nickerson, your local Geico agent. No matter where you live or work in Eastern Connecticut, my local Geico office is nearby to save you money. Whether you're in Old Saybrook, Niantic, Norwich, Willimantic, Westerly, Mystic, or near our beautiful new office in Waterford, Geico is just around the corner from you. Call my local Geico office and start your policy right over the phone. Call Geico, where savings is our first policy.
This is Game Day Live on theday.com. Welcome to Waterford High School for the ECC Tournament Semifinal number 2. 4-seed NFA versus 1-seed Ledyard. Hello, everyone. I'm Mark Brown alongside Casey O'Neill, and these two teams have matched up a couple of times this year. Ledyard getting the better of that matchup, and we're definitely going to see a contrast of styles when we see these teams go at it. They don't approach the game the same way.
No, Ledyard wants to play this thing in the 70s, 80s. If they went to 100, they'd be okay with it. NFA wants about half of that. They want this game in the 50s. Matter of fact, if they get a 4-0 lead, NFA would be pretty happy just shutting it down right there. So
we might not be so happy with that. We want a little more action than that. All right, time now for our keys to the game presented by Geico. Casey, let's start with NFA.
Well, who else? We know that Marcus Outlaw is doing the scoring, but where are they going to get more scoring? Will it be Delia Miller? That's what we'll find out. No pressure. If NFA can withstand that Ledyard pressure, score some baskets, but keep it in the 50s, they'll be happy. And, of course, late game advantage. NFA's won several close games. Outlaw's got those heroics. If they can keep it close into the late parts of the game, you know they've got Outlaw to rely on.
And for Ledyard, their keys.
Oh, it's all about tempo, right? The NFA team wants to keep it in the 50s. Ledyard wants it in the 60s or the 70s, so push, push, push. You know, then it's about Darnay Gray, the gray area. You know, he was in a car accident, and I want to know how badly the car was injured. Because he is that kind of player. And that shoulder injury, if it limits him tonight, though, that's going to be important. They need a rebounder. And then no supporting cast. They've got to have somebody. They got to force Outlaw to do, and somebody else to do it other than him. So that's really what Ledyard wants. Make Outlaw disappear and have someone else pick it up.
Key number 3, our tip of the cap for Oscars week. Let's take a look now at our starting lineups presented by Philomena's Restaurant. Let's start with NFA. We know all about Marcus Outlaw on the football field. A lot of people have really found out how good a basketball player he is.
Yeah, he can, but for them, we talked about will Delia Miller step up, and that's who we're going to be looking at. Ramel Williams, we know he can handle the point, and Mike Ryan, you don't talk much about him, but he's got to be able to hang with Darnay Gray and rebound tonight.
And now we'll look at Ledyard's starting lineup. We've told you, and we've heard from Dave Cornish, that Deontay Bruton will be the key, but there are some really versatile all-around basketball players in that lineup.
Sometimes they don't even know what they want to do. They have so many possibilities. Gray inside, Bruton with the basketball, but I'm telling you right now, it's Philip Thomas. He's the one that has emerged as the second scorer for them, even the primary scorer. He's put up multiple games in the 20s, and if Philip Thomas gets off early tonight, it makes this Ledyard team impossible to defend.
Ledyard has 3 players, not only that average double digits, but that average more than 15 points per game. They're led in scoring by Deontay Bruton, 16.5. Darnay Gray averages 16.1. You mentioned Philip Thomas, 15.7, and he's a guy that can stuff the stat sheet. Pretty darn good defender as well.
Yeah, when we saw Ledyard struggle earlier this year, what we saw was that Darnay Gray dominated inside, but they didn't really have any feel or rhythm to to the rest of the cast. One of those was Dom Benson, and we found out from Coach Cornish that Benson has been playing hurt most of the year and feels like right now is the first time all year where he's been comfortable. When he can play and score, it makes Ledyard even more dangerous.
And as we're watching the starting lineups being announced, Dom Benson, who you've just mentioned, we did not expect him to be in the starting lineup tonight, but he is being introduced as a starter, and probably due to the situation with Darnay Gray. Gray ready to go, but will not start tonight.
Yep, Gray's going to come off the bench. He's missed about 4 games in a row, so that makes some sense. Benson's really healthy, but how about Darnay Gray coming off the bench? What a presence he is coming off the sidelines.
So just about ready to get started, but first we'll have the national anthem performed by Waterford's Sarah Bassetto.
The flag is at the south end of the field house. And honoring us this evening with the singing of our national anthem, one of Waterford's students, Miss Sarah Bassetto.
Oh, say, can you see by the dawn's early light what so proudly we hailed at the twilight's
sunlight's last gleaming, whose broad stripes and bright stars through the perilous fight o'er the ramparts we watched were so gallantly streaming, and the rocket's red glare, the bombs bursting in air, gave proof through the night that our flag was still there. Oh, say, does that star-spangled banner yet wave o'er the land of the free and the home of the brave?
National anthem performed by Sarah Bassetto, who happens to be the daughter of Philomena's restaurant owner, Mike Bassetto. Philomena's the sponsor of our starting lineups here all season long on Game Day Live on theday.com.
Powerful voice, not surprising. Anyone that knows Mike Bassetto knows he's the king of the powerful voice. Diminutive in stature, loud, former athlete himself, great basketball player at St. Bernard's High School, and his daughter bringing the house down. Nothing like getting chills in the national anthem before this game is even tipped off.
Performing before each of the two semifinal games tonight here at Waterford High School. The first semifinal won by Woodstock Academy over New London, 62-55, avenging a loss to the Whalers in that same semifinal round of the ECC tournament 1 year ago. Can it happen again here? Norwich Free Academy and Ledyard, also a rematch of the semifinals from a year ago. Norwich Free Academy getting the better of that matchup, but has lost both of the regular season matchups to Ledyard.
When I talked to Ledyard head coach Dave Cornish, and I asked him, I said, you struggled with NFA in that last game. What happened? And he said, he just laughed. He said, we just didn't play well. We have to play better because they're the kind of team that can lull you to sleep with defense and tempo. We cannot allow ourselves to get lulled to sleep. They are really going to look to force tempo tonight.
Kyrie Childs wins the tip over Evo Rivera, and wearing their home whites, Ledyard will have the ball first. This is Deontay Bruton. Had it stripped away and taken by Marcus Outlaw.
Already seeing Outlaw's presence on defense. Him and Childs is going to be one of the great physical matchups in this early going.
River Thomas is guarding Dalia Miller. That'll be a key matchup. Dalia Miller's been able to get to the basket. Big key to the success of NFA's offense.
Childs, the best defender for Ledyard. Physical, big, matching up with perhaps the most physical player pound for pound in the conference.
Ramel Williams has it blocked by Philip Thomas. It's going to stay with NFA. And Thomas had a little bit of a message to Williams after that.
These two teams both like to play physical.
Dalia Miller puts it inside. Here's Rivera. Nice pass, big to big. And Mike Ryan has the first basket of the game.
Easy baskets for NFA will be key.
Quick pull up in transition. It's a three for Deontay Bruton.
Full court pressure from Ledyard, trapping, trying to create chaos.
Williams gives it up. Here's Outlaw, his first offensive. Leading scorer for the Wildcats. Dalia Miller lost it on the drive. Here's Philip Thomas. Little trouble with the handle. Back to twin brother River. Drives against Ramel Williams. Rivera the rebound.
Well, our officials are going to have a very important role in this game tonight because if they allow this thing to be physical, it favors NFA.
Officials tonight, Mike Riley, Tony Nacito, and Tony Gigliotti. In charge of the action. Pull up for Outlaw. Ryan the offensive rebound. Outlaw the drive. Offensive foul. Kyrie Childs stepped in to draw it.
Outlaw loves to get to the basket. You heard him if you were around for our first game. In his interview, he said he likes to, tonight his goal is to get to the foul line early and often. He wants to drive to the basket, but good defense by Childs, drawing the foul.
Outlaw matched up now on Deontay Bruton. Here's Dom Benson getting the start. Normally the super sixth man for the Colonels. Bruton gets to the hole. He's got 2 buckets.
Outlaw is a great defender, but he's not going to be able to hang with the quickness of Bruton.
D'Elia Miller, high for Ryan. Ryan's got the first 2 buckets of the game for NFA.
The pace is already, though, favoring Ledyard. This is what they want. They'll trade baskets for tempo.
Bruton missing from the free throw line. D'Elia Miller has it taken away by Benson, but D'Elia Miller blocks it. Childs banks it in. 7-4 early and pressure from the Colonels. Ramel Williams simply runs right by everybody and gives it to Ryan, who's got all 6 for the Wildcats.
That's hustle. Credit Ryan for running the floor. He beat everybody down. You teach your big man, if you can beat him down the floor, you can score.
Philip Thomas takes it down the lane. D'Elia Miller swipes it out of there, but got a piece of the arm of Philip Rivers. Philip Thomas, rather. Brother River. Philip Rivers is a quarterback.
Mississippi River is a body of water.
Yes.
River Phoenix is a
Philip Thomas
actor.
and River Thomas, twin brothers, starters for the Colonels. Philip, the bigger of the two, 6'2". River Thomas, 5'10".
Early on here, we have seen NFA coming out very, very physical, contesting every shot, getting to the basket. The officials so far have let that play.
Ledyard going to their bench, bringing in Andrew Bird.
We know Bird can score. He's a good shooter.
He replaces River Thomas.
But who's he going to try to defend on the other end? If it's D'Elia Miller, we'll see if they go there.
D'Elia Miller had it taken away by Dom Benson. Benson coming off the bench is the leading steal and block man defensively.
Very athletic is Benson, and he hasn't even been healthy. Imagine what he's going to play like now that he's feeling better.
Pull-up jumper from the baseline, won't go. Ivo Rivera, the putback.
Well, he said he likes to do all the little things that help his team play better. That was one of them.
Philip Thomas trying to put it home inside. Will go back to the free throw line.
If that one's on D'Elia Miller, that's going to be quick 2 for him.
And quickly up off the bench for NFA is John Morrison. Head coach Chris Giusti for Norwich Free Academy. Trying to fire up Ramel Williams and D'Elia Miller, who comes out, replaced by John Morrison.
Giusti's irate with D'Elia Miller, saying, stop it, you're out of control, you're trying to make things happen too much, get into the flow. Those 2 quick fouls are going to get him to the bench. Time to think about it.
(10-8) the Ledyard advantage. Inside. It's Morrison.
Not used to scoring, but a great look from Outlaw.
Smallest guy out there for Ledyard gets the offensive rebound, can't hit the putback. Morrison picked it up off the floor but threw it away. Here's Bruton. Up and under.
NFA doesn't have the size to stop it.
Quickly back the other way, it's Outlaw. Don Benson the drive. Oh, smooth.
Too easy. Too easy. Someone's got to step in there, NFA. Tempo totally favoring Ledyard right now.
Romel Williams. Ebo Rivera. Back for Williams. Biggest guy on the floor is Mike Ryan. He had 3 quick buckets early. Hasn't had a touch in a bit.
NFA trying to keep it into a half-court set, but Ledyard's already got the tempo where they want it.
Romel Williams. Putback won't go for Ryan. Still after it. We'll try again. Oh my goodness. So much work done by Ryan. And finally was draw the foul. Let's go to the sideline and Dave Edgecombe. Dave?
Thanks, guys. I got a quick word in with NFA head coach Chris Giusti before we started, and I asked him what's got to change in this game that didn't happen in the first 2 games, and he said, score more points. And that was pretty much all he said, but when I got him to expand on it a little bit, at the end of the day, defense is still their bread and butter, and they're going to make an effort to try and get stops and hold them to 1 shot on offense. It looks like they're content to run with them so far. Let's see where it goes from here. Mark, Casey.
All right, thanks, Dave. Mike Ryan misses the first free throw.
Darnay Gray checking into the ball game. His first appearance. This will make Ledyard much, much bigger with him and Thomas in the game at the same time.
Second free throw coming for Ryan. Doesn't take a lot of free throws, only 44 on the year, but does shoot 70%. He gets the second. 7 first quarter points for him. Bruton slipping and sliding along the baseline.
You know, we saw him against Hartford Public earlier this year struggle with their length and their size, but NFA doesn't have the same size, and Bruton can get to the basket almost anytime he wants.
He's got 9 of 16. Outlaw can't hit on the drive. And we've got a foul here in the rebounding action. It's going to go against Ledyard. Looks like it'll be Darnay Gray, only been in for less than a minute, and he's picked up his first foul.
But the shoulder looks healthy, which is the priority for him. He's moving around okay. He just needs to get into the flow.
So Mike Ryan with 8 first quarter points. Only averages 4.9 points a game. Really more of a battler, a defender, a rebounder, a screener. He is putting up the points today, but he's missed half his free throws. Two-point lead for Ledyard. And Bruton is just doing whatever he wants to do.
A great look that time to Benson cutting. He beat Outlaw off the dribble again. Outlaw just cannot stay with Bruton. He's too fast. And what a good cut by Benson.
Uh-oh, 2 quick fouls now on Darnay Gray. And quickly to the table is Kyrie Childs for Ledyard.
You know, we just got word that R.J. Evans, the former NFA basketball star, is watching tonight from across the pond. He's in England. He says he's missing the ECC tournament atmosphere. As you know, following Game Day all year, R.J.'s been a loyal Game Day and NFA fan throughout the football and basketball seasons. And R.J., tell you right now, they'd love you to come back and play the point right now. So if you can get on the next flight, the NFA makes the finals, maybe you can be here for that.
NFA at the moment down 4. And another foul.
That's what they call a ticky-tack foul right there.
Deontay Bruton picks up his first.
Little reach. You know, NFA probably feels pretty good about how they're playing, but you're down 4 because the tempo is not where you want it. That's how tempo gets you. It's not a big 10-0 run. It's just a little war of attrition in the tempo, and you find yourself getting down farther and farther.
Here's Outlaw into traffic, draws a whole lot of contact. And a foul will go against Philip Thomas.
Well, Outlaw only has 1 speed when it comes to his offense, and that's get to the basket, and that's He's lucky that time.
Kyrie Childs stripped Ryan, goes coast to coast. And Ebo Rivera the rebound. Rivera averages 5.3 boards a game. Second on the team to Mike Ryan.
NFA struggling in the half-court set. They have not really gotten any good looks. They've scored most of their points in transition and off of rebounds from Ryan.
Here's Ryan out beyond the arc. They're looking to trap Williams. They do. And Ryan had it knocked away, went into the stands. That was Andrew Bird who tipped it.
Yep. Very uncomfortable NFA seems in the half-court offense. Ledyard so quick, trapping at any moment. You can see the NFA team very, very uncomfortable in the half-court set.
Here's Outlaw. Gave up the dribble, taken away by Philip Thomas. Thomas splitting defenders and was fouled. The shot was blocked when he put it up, but on the way in, the foul will go against Ramel Williams of NFA.
They're going to say it was on the floor. So Bruton will inbound for Ledyard underneath.
Here's Bruton. This time they stop the penetration. Rivera blocked it. Here's Morrison. Big step through and lays it in. He's going to spark off the bench for the Wildcats.
Only a junior and not a name we're used to, but John Morrison with some early offense. He looks like a scorer.
Chris Giusti going to his bench again. Brandon Drabinski is at the table ready to go in, but first, a free throw from Philip Thomas.
Yep, Drabinski provides a big body, some extra size in there for NFA.
First free throw is good for Philip Thomas. And here comes Drabinski in for Ebo Rivera.
Drabinski, of course, the son of Marek Drabinski, baseball coach at Brown.
He and Rivera basically split time up front. Long rebound collected by Ramel Williams. So 3-point lead for Ledyard. Coming up on half a minute to go in the first quarter. Semifinal number 2, the ECC Boys Basketball Tournament. Here's Drabinski's first touch. Going to take it to the hole. Childs has it. Somehow escapes. And up for Bruton. Bruton will bring it out. 10 seconds left. Ledyard can take the last shot. Clear out for Bruton. Great defense from Ramel Williams. Bird from the corner hits a three. Well, you can't defend Deontay Bruton any better than that. But Andrew Bird can shoot the three off the bench. And he gives, at the end of the first quarter, Ledyard their largest lead of the game, 22-16. We'll take a break here from the ECC semifinals at Waterford High School. Ledyard leading NFA. This is Game Day, live on theday.com.
Preparing elementary and high school students for lifelong success calls for a commitment to excellence. Welcome to New London Public Schools, the only public school district in Connecticut designated as a magnet district, specializing in science, technology, engineering, and math, along with performing and visual arts. Our magnet curriculum creates enhanced learning experiences for all students. Develop your child's inner talents. For admission to a New London Magnet School, apply online today at newlondon.org.
Welcome back to Game Day, live on theday.com. A little late flurry at the end of the first quarter has given Ledyard their largest lead of the game, 22-16, over Norwich Free Academy. Today's game is brought to you in part by Geico. 15 minutes could save you 15% or more. The M.J. Sullivan Automotive Corner, Eastern Connecticut's automotive leader for over 30 years, selling Chevrolet, Cadillac, Buick, and Hyundai, and Philomena's Restaurant. Proud to be named one of Connecticut's best family restaurants of 2013. NFA will have the basketball to start the second quarter, trailing by 6. Glad you can be with us here on Game Day, live on theday.com. Mark Brown alongside Casey O'Neill and Dave Edgecombe roaming the sidelines for us.
NFA looks to get the ball to Outlaw, and Ledyard immediately traps. Every time Outlaw gets the ball, they're looking to trap him.
Benson came up with the steal. Pull-up jumper, rebound, Ryan. Quickly up. Morrison missing from the corner. Kyrie Childs speeding it up court. A little out of control, but gets his own miss and puts it back.
Yeah, out of control, but fortuitous with the bounce.
8-point lead, largest of the game.
This is what tempo does. Slowly but surely. Outlaw really hounded.
It was Benson double teaming, but Ramel Williams takes it back. Offensive foul. Mike Ryan, he missed the layup anyway, but will be charged with the offensive foul.
I think NFA has found something on the defensive end when Ramel Williams guards Deontay Bruton. The quickness factor, he really hounded Bruton the last time. The problem with that is that every bounce is going Ledyard's way right now. Bird's got the ball in the corner, hit a 3. Child's ball went right back in his hands for a basket, and just like that, 8-point lead.
Here's Bird on the drive. Oh, Rivera blocked the shot. Great help defense. Ramel Williams taking on 2 defenders, and he'll get to the free throw line.
Gonna get Bruton on the reach.
Should be his second.
Important foul shots here for Williams. Try to stem the tide, as it were. Stop the bleeding.
Ramel Williams, only a 46% free throw shooter, but he hits the first, the 5'8" senior.
Uncharacteristic for a point guard to shoot that low a percentage, but Williams, not their best foul shooter.
Misses the second. Bruton the rebound. No numbers. Corner to Bird. Can't make it 2 in a row from there. Kyrie Childs. Offensive rebound. Crowd wanted to travel there, but Bruton got it to Benson. Another rebound from Childs, and he hits the putback. He's got 6 points.
Someone's got a rebound for NFA. They need some size. Right now, Ledyard's doing too much.
9-point lead. Now the new largest of the game. Morrison forcing up the left-handed shot. Here comes Ledyard again. Oh, how about the pass? Philip Thomas to Bruton. Timeout. Norwich Free Academy, they're down 11.
Well, 2 problems facing NFA right now. Number 1, the tempo we talked about earlier has gotten out of control. And a lot of it had to do with Delia Miller's 2 early fouls. He went to the bench. They didn't have a second scorer. And what that allowed Ledyard to do is trap Marcus Outlaw every time he touched the basketball with no real second scorer to go to. Forced some turnovers. They got into some transition baskets. And NFA hasn't been able to kind of mount any offense. And then we've just seen the war of attrition going on. A little bit here, a little bit there. The second problem for NFA is on the other side of things. Every bounce has gone Ledyard's way so far. So it's not just that they're the tempo's favoring Ledyard, but so far the breaks have as well.
So inside Chris Giusti's huddle right now. A moment of truth. 5:59 to go in the first half. Ledyard on a big run. Stretched it out to a double-digit advantage. And it's moving at a pace, Casey, as you pointed out, that does not favor NFA. So this could snowball in a hurry unless the Wildcats can get back control of this tempo.
The problem is that NFA doesn't score enough to mount comebacks when you're down 11 points at this point. They just don't have a lot of offense. It's not their game. We've seen Marcus Outlaw heat up and shoot threes and get points in a hurry. He and Delia Miller are on the floor again together. They're going to have to score some points, and they're going to have to score some points in bunches.
Ledyard a perfect 10-0 to win the ECC Large. No losses against ECC competition this year. 18-3 overall. Only losses coming to Xavier and Glastonbury on back-to-back nights around Christmas. Delia Miller with the 2 fouls, missed the drive and a held ball situation. The other loss for Ledyard coming to Hartford Public a couple of weeks ago.
Bird doing a great job on Delia Miller, trying to deny him the ability to go left. Of course, he's left-handed. He likes to drive that way. Miller got to the basket that time, but just couldn't finish.
Benson gives it to River Thomas. Here's Childs with Ryan on him. Quickness mismatch here, but Childs doesn't take him.
This is probably Ledyard's least offensive team on the field right now with Bruton out of the basketball game. Where are the points going to come from?
Here's Childs with 2 men on him. Blocked from behind by Rivera. And then Ryan blocks Benson. Benson in trouble in the corner. And he forced the travel. Did Ryan from Benson.
Yeah, this team right here on the floor for Ledyard right now does not have a point guard, a true point guard. Thomas and Bird are not true point guards. They're more off guards with Bruton on the bench. So the points right now have to come through somebody else, and Ledyard looked a little uncomfortable in that set.
Inside 5 minutes to go in the first half. Ryan, good position down low. Oh, the drop step's a thing of beauty for the big man. He's got 10 points. The only average is 5.
Yeah, good work around the basket so far by Ryan.
Gets it back to single digits. Philip Thomas, way off the mark from on top. Scramble for the loose ball. This is Delia Miller. Gets it off somehow after the stumble to Ramel Williams.
NFA needs good sets here. I'd keep going into Ryan. There's not a lot of size on the floor for Ledyard right now.
Outlaw been unable to get going here, and he is fouled out beyond the 3-point line. And that'll be the 7th team foul on Ledyard, so should be 1-1. Darnay Gray with 2 fouls and about 30 seconds of action off the bench is back at the scorer's table for Ledyard.
Get some size back in the game for Ledyard.
Philip Thomas committed that last foul. That is his 2nd. So here's Marcus Outlaw at the free throw line, where he's a 69% free throw shooter. Takes and makes more free throws than any of the Wildcats. We have not seen him with a whole lot of room to operate today.
No, they have really done their best to take him out of the ball game in the beginning, either trapping every single time he had the ball, denying him the basketball when they can.
Tony Nacito is at the scorer's table here trying to sort something out. I think it's a substitution issue here. Benson will go back in.
Marcus Outlaw on the line for the Wildcats.
Not exactly sure what just happened.
No. But Tony Nacito talking it over with Dave Cornish. Actually called on head coach Dave Cornish to help him out. The honor system. And now Philip Thomas can come in. Or maybe not.
I still don't know what's happening. I'm not often baffled, but I'm baffled right now.
Andrew Bird the drive. And the soft touch gets the roll.
Yeah, this is a team that we said points are at a premium for this Ledyard team right now with no point guard, no true point guard in the game. That was a nice job by Bird getting to the basket.
He's got 5 points off the bench. Delia Miller finds Williams. Williams, quick spin and the pull-up. Oh, that was a tough move. Not much you can do if he's going to make that one.
Always a bonus when he scores.
Tough floater for River Thomas. But it all adds up to trading baskets right now. NFA can't afford to do that, already down 9. Williams out of control. Benson up ahead for Childs. Could not quite get under control enough. Here comes Outlaw with numbers. Williams blocked up top by Andrew Bird, but they will say Bird got body. .258 to go, and Williams will go to the free throw line.
That foul's on River Thomas with the body on Williams. Thomas and Bird both down there and under the basket, but they got the foul on Thomas.
Williams hits the first free throw.
NFA is going to get Brandon Drabinski back into the ball game, with Drabinski, Outlaw, and Ryan all in the game, and Rivera in the game. This is the biggest NFA goes. This is a big NFA lineup right now. And Bruton still on the bench for Ledyard.
Battle for the rebound. Outlaw. Oh, that's great work by the senior.
Lunch pail right there.
Darnay Gray has it sent back. Rivera and Ryan, take your pick. They both got a piece. And now the foul by Benson as Outlaw attacked the basket. This will be 2 free throws.
Gutsy right now, NFA, finding ways to score and defend. And Ledyard, I think this is kind of what Dave Cornish talked about, going and kind of lulled to sleep, and without Bruton in the game, they're a completely different team. That energy, the electricity he brings with the basketball, sorely missing right now for Ledyard.
2 fouls for Bruton. Cornish electing not to take any chances, at least for now, with his star point guard.
See, Gray was stretching out his shoulder, the injured shoulder from the car accident that he sustained. He's missed some games. Working it out.
So Outlaw converts, and he cuts the lead to 5. It's been as high as 11 for Ledyard. Coming up on 2.5 minutes to go. Dave Cornish calls out the set for the Colonels. Philip Thomas down low for Childs. Can't get the roll. Bird up high for the offensive rebound.
Oh, that's just athleticism and determination.
Darnay Gray, great position down low. Foul on Drabinski, and Gray finally has a positive contribution here, looking for the three-point play.
2 big bodies, Darnay Gray and Brandon Drabinski, but Gray with the quickness and the footwork got to the basket there. And really, we've seen once he gets the ball in the low block, he's very difficult to defend.
He seemed very frustrated, didn't start tonight. He's had the issue with the shoulder when he got in there. A couple of quick fouls, then had to go back to the bench again. Maybe forced it on one of those other trips, but that time they got the great entry down low. 3-point play for Darnay Gray. Back to an 8-point lead.
Ledyard playing real harassing man-to-man right now.
Talia Miller has had some foul troubles, but he's been held scoreless until right there. The drive on the baseline.
Such a good athlete, knows how to score and finish around the basket.
Kyrie Childs turn around from the high post. Great hustle both on the offensive boards and to the sidelines there, as neither Childs nor Benson could come up with it.
I don't think that's the shot Dave Cornish wanted from Kyrie Childs. They've got Bird who can shoot it, Darnay Gray in the game. Not the shot they want.
Talia Miller. Ryan on the baseline. Face-up shot won't go. Thomas the rebound. Phillip, that is. Here comes Bird. Maybe too ambitious of a bounce pass. Here comes Outlaw after the steal. Oh, he wants a 3 in transition, and he pulls up and sticks it.
Well, he's not afraid. We know. Not afraid.
10 points now for Outlaw. High post, Gray quickly gets to the low post. Great hustle from Kyrie Childs. Dave Cornish wants a timeout. 46 seconds to go in the first half. An 11-point lead for Ledyard. It's now down to 3, and he wants to make sure this final 3/4 of a minute goes the Colonel's way.
You know, Marcus Outlaw has scored 9 points in the last 2.5 minutes here. The last time these two teams played, the halftime score saw both teams in the 20s. Here we are this time, and it's in the 30s. So the scoring has increased, an indication that the tempo has increased, and NFA has done something I did not think possible, which is slice into an 11-point lead by keeping the tempo up. I didn't think that was possible, and I think a lot of it has to do with Deontay Bruton being out of the game, but he's back for the last 46 seconds of the half.
Certainly with orders not to pick up another foul here in the first half. He will inbound. Andrew Bird joining him in the backcourt. Bird's played a lot of minutes here in this first half off the bench. Been very effective. 5 points, but it's gone beyond the scoring.
We know Bruton can take it to the basket anytime he wants.
Patient, working it. Nice inside out, Bruton. Dom Benson, he got the offensive rebound. Had nobody between him and the basket, but lost it out of bounds. 27 seconds to go.
Normally sure-handed, he just could not corral that one.
Completely lost by the NFA defense. Nobody boxed him out.
Delia Miller back into the ball game for NFA. I think they're going to take the last shot here because they'd have to be thrilled going into halftime, down only 3 or less, considering where they were 2.5 minutes ago.
16 seconds to go.
Look for Outlaw off a screen.
Philip Thomas is face guarding and denying Outlaw now. Now Outlaw comes to the ball. 4 seconds to go. He's got to hurry. Will rise and fire. And comes up short on the 3-point attempt. That's going to do it for the second quarter. Ledyard at 1 point led by 11 points, but will have to settle for a 3-point halftime lead over NFA. As Casey pointed out, the Wildcats got to be thrilled. This game was starting to get out of their control, and they've reined it back in. Our Dave Edgecombe is down on the court with Ledyard head coach Dave Cornish. Here's Dave.
Thanks, Mark. Coach, it's no secret that you guys want to run and gun. Are you at all surprised at how NFA came out and kind of ran with you early on?
No, not really. I mean, they got good athletes over there, so it's our kind of game. But, they got good athletes. They can do that.
What did they do differently to kind of claw their way back into this game, go only down 3 at the half?
Well, it's what we didn't do. It's what we didn't do.
And Darnay Gray struggled to get involved in the game early on. It looks like he found himself a groove. What do you guys got to do to keep him involved in the game?
Well, he's just got to stay on the floor. He can't pick up cheap fouls, If he can stay on the floor, it'll be a different ballgame.
And Philip Thomas and Kyrie Childs pretty much face guarding Marcus Outlaw the whole first half. Much of the same in the second, I would imagine.
A little bit of this, a little bit of that. We may trap a little bit more. So.
Thanks, Coach. Good luck in the second half. Mark, Casey.
All right, good probing interview there from Dave Edgecombe, but Dave Cornish holding those strategy cards pretty close to the vest. He's got some options. He'll use them, and we'll see that when we start the third quarter. Coming up next, the M.J. Sullivan halftime report on GameDay live on theday.com.
Hi, I'm Mark Nickerson, your local Geico agent. No matter where you live or work in Eastern Connecticut, my local Geico office is nearby to save you money. Whether you're in Old Saybrook, Niantic, Norwich, Willimantic, Westerly, Mystic, or near our beautiful new office in Waterford, Geico is just around the corner from you. Call my local Geico office and start your policy right over the phone. Call Geico, where savings is our first policy.
We can all talk about various cases that we've had, but one case we're particularly proud of is one where Matt Schaffner, one of my partners, represented a family who lost someone in the attacks of 9/11. Matt was very diligent and was able to help that family. We weren't compensated for that because we felt it was important to give back not only to that family, but to the community as well. The personal satisfaction of representing that family was immense. Overall, I think you'll find that the one word that describes Sussman Shapiro is dedicated. We are dedicated to our clients' causes. We're aggressive as needed. But at the end of the day, the client leaves here knowing that not only did we do a good job for them, but we also cared about them as an individual or as an institution.
Welcome back to the MJ Sullivan Halftime Report. It's Game Day live on theday.com from Waterford High School, where Ledyard and Norwich Free Academy are battling it out in semifinal number 2. Right now, 35-32 lead for Ledyard. Mark Brown along with Casey O'Neill. And Woodstock Academy, they're waiting in the final on Friday. About midway through the second quarter, we might have been saying that, hey, this is going to be a runaway for Ledyard, but NFA is taking care of business.
Yeah, and we've seen that NFA is a very scrappy and veteran team, and they are going to continue to play that kind of way in the second half. And we saw Dave Cornish clearly not happy with his Ledyard team, and he thinks they just need to play better.
Absolutely. And Ledyard getting a great performance from Deontay Bruton with the 11 points. And Dave Edgecombe is down on the court with former Wildcat from Norwich Free Academy, Chris Vincent. Dave?
Thanks, Mark. Yeah, Chris, obviously it's got to be kind of mixed emotions for you. Obviously, you're a former Wildcat, but your dad used to coach at Ledyard. I won't ask you to make a pick, but talk about the mixed emotions that goes through a game like this.
Yeah, absolutely. I have a close connection with both the Ledyard staff as well as Coach Giusti and Garvin and Navik and Camp. I've been there, and it's great to see both teams doing so well this year. They both have young teams, but have been doing a great job so far.
I know that you followed your father in the coaching profession. Give us a little bit about what you're up to these days.
Yeah, I'm at the Coast Guard Academy right now. This is my first year there. I loved it. I was able to not only stay at home, but catch a lot of these games as well. Like you just talked about, seeing my dad and being around these kids. So it's been a great experience. With Bono and Jaskowitz over at the Coast Guard, and I've learned a lot, and looking forward to the future.
Now, as a coach, you got to give me some sort of breakdown. What'd you see? What's got to change in the first half?
They both got out to different spurts. Ledyard, was the whole entire year is trying to get the press and get a lot of points off that. And NFA managed to break that and got a little easy buckets in transition. On the same side, Ledyard got in quick foul trouble, and NFA was able to capitalize. But if Ledyard keeps pushing the ball, which they have all year, they should be fine. And Darnay Gray coming back, his first game back got quick 2 fouls, so they're it's going to be tough for them to see how they get in the second half.
Chris, thanks for taking the time. Excellent insight. If it doesn't work out in coaching, I think you got a future in color broadcast.
All right, thanks a lot. Appreciate it.
Mark, Casey.
All right, thanks, Dave. Should we be worried, Casey?
Trying to replace us already?
Is Edgecombe trying to edge you out?
I heard. I didn't see him say anything about play-by-play. I heard color.
Well, we thank Chris Vincent, and a unique perspective for having a little bit of a connection to each team. So Norwich Free Academy, who comes in as the number 4 seed and 3rd place in the ECC large division, are right in it against Ledyard. Well, that's going to do it for now for the MJ Sullivan Halftime Report. We're going to take a little break here on Game Day Live on theday.com. NFA and Ledyard battling it out to see who will take on Woodstock Academy in the championship game.
At the MJ Sullivan Automotive Corner, our #1 goal has always been to earn your business for life. As one of the largest dealerships in eastern Connecticut, selling Chevrolet, Cadillac, Buick, and Hyundai, we accomplish our goal by not just offering the best buying experience, but more importantly, the best service experience after the sale. That philosophy is what built this company from a single-base service station nearly 45 years ago to who we are today. So experience the difference and let us earn your business for life. The MJ Sullivan Automotive Corner in New London or at mjsullivanauto.com.
The future is now.
I am in control of my next 4 years.
Education is our passport to the future.
Live the life you imagine.
There are no shortcuts to any place worth going.
This is my classroom. This is my classroom.
This is our classroom.
Education is the future.
Do something remarkable. I can be myself.
Welcome to the next 4 years.
My name's Jay Berryman. I'm a director and I'm the head of the Workers' Compensation and Social Security divisions of Sussman Shapiro. I I think that my favorite part of the job is just the intellectual challenge that still exists. And I enjoy the satisfaction that comes from doing a job well. When a client says, thank you for what you've done, that's makes it pretty rewarding, and why I'm doing this for 30 years now.
Preparing elementary and high school students for lifelong success calls for a commitment to excellence. Welcome to New London Public Schools, the only public school district in Connecticut designated as a magnet district, specializing in science, technology, engineering, and math, along with performing and visual arts. Our magnet curriculum creates enhanced learning experiences for all students. Develop your child's inner talents. For admission to a New London Magnet School, apply online today at newlondon.org.
Welcome back to the MJ Sullivan halftime report from Waterford High School. It's semifinal number 2, the ECC Boys Basketball Championship. Ledyard and Norwich Free Academy fighting for the right to take on Woodstock Academy in Friday's championship game. Tonight's game is brought to you in part by Sussman Shapiro Law Firm, the largest law firm in Eastern Connecticut, and Norwich Free Academy, the choice of students in southeastern Connecticut. Mark Brown along with Casey O'Neill with some help from the sidelines from Dave Edgecombe. And interesting to hear what was going on. We didn't get to, but we can speculate in the locker room for each of these teams. For Norwich Free Academy, hey, they're right back in it. For Ledyard, they might have let a chance to really grab hold of this game slip away at the end of that first half.
Yeah, and for Ledyard, it's going to be pretty simple. It's going to be keeping Darnay Gray and Deontay Bruton on the floor. They provide very different things for Ledyard, but Bruton is electricity, energy, and an impossible guard. Gray is a big body that can do a lot of things down low. Keep them on the floor, and I think you'll see fall in line for Ledyard. On the other side of things, Outlaw has to keep finding ways to score, and then they have to keep getting that other scoring. We've seen Delia Miller score, we've seen Ryan score, Morrison, but somebody has to keep up that scoring for NFA other than Outlaw. I think both teams think they're in control in certain ways. Ledyard thinks they're the better team for sure. I think NFA, Coach Giusti went in the half and said, there's no reason we can't beat them at their own game. So right now I think both teams feeling very confident in the second half.
And just about ready to get that going. Been a great crowd here for both games, but maybe even fuller capacity here for semifinal number 2. A lot of the fans choosing to stay from semifinal number 1, where Woodstock defeated New London to reach the ECC championship game. By the way, that'll be right here at Waterford High School on Friday. Pre-game will be 6:45 here on GameDay Live on theday.com. Tip-off at 7 o'clock sharp. Don't miss it.
We got the great NFA cheering section going on, but of course when it comes to cheering sections, it's the Waterford High School cheering section and everybody else. Waterford High School, rumors that they might link up with Ledyard and try to blow the roof off this place have not materialized. We understand there's some infighting between the two student sections.
Some back-channel negotiations going on in that. Very delicate. As NFA, an empty trip to start the third quarter. Deontay Bruton starts the offense for Ledyard. 13 first half points. That despite sitting a good portion of the second quarter with foul trouble.
And NFA has put Ramel Williams back on him. The quickness of both guys.
Huge. That is Delia Miller, who has just picked up his third foul in the opening seconds of the third quarter. He sat a good part of the first half as well. He's only got 2 points, been a non-factor outside the fouls.
Unfortunate, going for the steal and making contact.
And as soon as he committed it, he looked to head coach Chris Giusti and said, I got it. Don't take me out. So far, Giusti hasn't gone to his bench.
NFA dropping into his zone. Nice job finding Thomas in the soft.
Great footwork, couldn't finish. Kyrie Childs fouled on the putback.
Give Ledyard credit. NFA shifted into a zone, a 2-3 zone, and they immediately flashed Philip Thomas to the elbow, which is the soft part of that zone, and he was able to create, and Childs getting the rebound and getting to the foul line.
That foul charge to Ebo Rivera. First free throw good for Kyrie Childs. Shooting not the strength for Childs. 46% from the line. Has a very good field goal percentage, but that's mostly based on shot selection and where he's getting his shots from. A very important part for the Colonels. Right now is defending Marcus Outlaw, the leading scorer for NFA. And this will be a foul on Ledyard. It'll go against Philip Thomas. And that's his third.
Ledyard trying to trap. Every time NFA gets the ball on the sideline, Ledyard's looking to trap. That time they had the trap on Delia Miller, but Thomas a little over-aggressive, shoving him to the sideline.
Still in the game. So two players playing with 3 fouls here early in the third. Outlaw, a 42% three-point shooter, and he stuck some tough ones tonight.
They denied him going right. He said, fine, I'll go left. I'm versatile. I can do it both ways, knocking it down.
Bruton trying to answer with the 3. Rivera, the rebound, but traveled as he tried to find a teammate. New London ball underneath.
Right now, the momentum is kind of shifting to NFA. Ledyard has not been able to really get into a rhythm here.
Childs misses the bank. Here's Outlaw. He's feeling it. They're going to have to find him in transition.
He can score in bunches. When he's got the feel, right now he's heating up.
Back-to-back threes. He's got 16 to lead all scorers. And NFA has their first lead.
Well, we're going to find out something about this Ledyard basketball team right now. Let's see where their resiliency comes from. NFA on a 15-5 run right now.
Outlaw finds Ryan, spins away from the defense and finishes with the left. NFA on a roll.
Great job, Outlaw, that time.
And a foul on NFA. Who is it on?
Oh, it's going to be on Miller. Or are they calling it on Ryan? Let's see. Nope, they're calling on Delia Miller. That's his 4th.
Well, he implored his coach, trust me, leave me in with the 3. But he picked up his 4th. John Morrison checks back into the game. Played extended first half minutes for the Wildcats.
Ledyard needs to figure out where the scoring's going to come from. Right now, no real offensive identity outside of the transition.
Dom Benson can't hit the pull-up in traffic. Here comes Outlaw. Oh, from NBA range. That was a heat check right there. Morrison.
He's given them some really good minutes. Very calm, obviously not uncomfortable scoring. Good touch around the basket.
And a foul on NFA, Ivo Rivera. And that'll get Brandon Drabinski up off the bench for the Wildcats, replacing Rivera.
Darnay Gray comes out of the game for Ledyard.
River Thomas gives it to Bruton.
What a swing we have seen. Ledyard right now just looking very uncomfortable in the half-court set.
Oh, Thomas tried to force it inside, and it was last touched by brother River Thomas.
Yeah, River tried to get it to Phillip. It went off of Phillip's legs, and then River reached down to try to grab it. It went off his hands. NFA with a chance to take their biggest lead of the game.
Since trailing by 11 early in the second quarter, NFA has gone on a 26-9 run and now leads by 5 and was just fouled again.
That's Philip Thomas. We're trying to figure out how many fouls are on Thomas right now.
It could be 4. Mike Ryan. Drabinski can't get the rebound. Here comes Bruton. Oh, how about the touch on the fall away? 15 for Bruton.
Ledyard's calling a timeout. They want to find out the Thomas foul situation.
I think we all do. I swear that I saw them signal 3 fouls earlier for Philip Thomas, and we reported it as such. New London obviously thinks this is the 3rd on Philip Thomas. Sorry, Ledyard. There is a little New London flavor on the Ledyard sideline.
Understandable.
And in the game.
Understandable. This is very important, obviously, to get this situated.
A lot riding on this. Quite a chat going on at the scorer's table. Tony Gigliotti is the one trying to sort it out with the official scorer.
We're going to find out ourselves. We think it's 4, but we're still sorting it out right now.
So we don't have it quite sorted out here. Tony Nacito has come over to help. And those NFA fans, they certainly can't help us. But they're helping their team.
Yep. Ledyard's insisting that it's his 3rd, but we have it as 4, and it seems like the scorer has it as 4. That's what we're sorting out right now. I think NFA has it as 4. The official scorers have it as 4. Ledyard is desperately trying to say it's 3. And what's interesting about this, Mark, is it's like anytime you get an extended delay, what's going to happen? What are the teams going to do coming out of the extended delay? Momentum was very much in NFA's favor going into the delay. What happens coming out?
Well, either way, we're getting Philip Thomas coming out of the game.
Ledyard shaking its head. I'm going to say that means 4.
It looks like they did not get their appeal turned the way that they wanted it. So as originally thought, at least by the scorers and by us, that is the 4th foul on Philip Thomas.
They're still trying to sort this out. This is important for the strategy of Ledyard. They just have to get clarification on this.
Our unofficial scorekeeper, Mike DeMoro, who has done a phenomenal job in the statistician category, had it as 4. When I said 3, it was as I watched the scorer signal 3 fouls to what I thought was Ledyard.
The problem with being the recognized expert in a lot of areas that Mr. DeMoro is, everybody at the scorer's table turned around and looked at him and said, how many you got? But he has it at 4, and the official scorer has it as 4, so we're going with 4.
Here's Outlaw. Wow, even that one almost went down.
I think he might have been fouled.
Deontay Bruton. He makes it look so easy.
Yeah, they're a different team with it when he's in the game and when he's getting to the basket. That's the Ledyard that jumped out to the double-digit lead.
All right, couple consecutive hoops from Ledyard.
Outlaw needs to look to get to the basket now. He's been shooting some threes. They're hounding him. He needs to get to the basket, get to the foul line.
Morrison. Oh, he airballed it. Outlaw still working. Ryan. And he had it. No, he was out of bounds. Thought it was a foul on Benson. Instead, out of bounds on Mike Ryan.
We're going to get Bird back into the ball game for Ledyard. And we're going to see Mike Ryan get a well-earned rest. He's been a workhorse for NFA on the blocks.
Nick Crooks in for his first action. 6'5" senior, number 13 in red, manning the middle at the moment. Morrison blocked the corner ball attempt from Bird. It'll stay with Ledyard.
Ledyard's still uncomfortable in the half court. They haven't really had, other than Bruton getting to the basket in transition, they haven't had a half court basket in a while.
Bruton from the corner. Somehow that one came out. Drabinski looking for a friend. Finally finds Williams, but he is in trouble. And NFA going to use a timeout. That had disaster written all over it for the Wildcats, but they'll use a timeout to sort things out. 3 minutes exactly to go in the third quarter.
Senior leadership from Ramel Williams right there. He knew that if he didn't call a timeout, they were not going to get the ball over half court in time. They were trapped. They had nowhere to go. That's the problem with a big man like Drabinski. Ledyard was wise to trap him as soon as he got the basketball. Clearly uncomfortable putting the ball on the floor.
So 2 key players, 1 for each team with 4 fouls. In the middle of the third quarter, Desmond D'Elia Miller picked up his 4th with 5:30 to go. And Philip Thomas picked his up for Ledyard with 4:09 to go.
We've seen the tempo of the game starting to slow a little bit. Both teams in the half court. NFA right now needs to get to the basket. Outlaw started settling for jump shots after he got hot and made a couple of threes. They need some easy points now getting to the basket.
This is Outlaw. Childs took a chance. John Morrison bringing rain from the corner. That's a 3.
I like this kid's touch. He can shoot it. He can score.
Deontay Bruton had a good look at it. Crooks the rebound, surrounded by 3 Colonels. Finally gets it to Williams. He's got to fight off too. Somehow he leaves Bruton on the floor. Outlaw wide open.
Oh, he missed the gimme.
Morrison looking for the steal. Yeah, Outlaw needs to be like fading away from 25 with a man in his face.
Yeah, squared up with no one around. He looked uncomfortable.
It's too easy.
I really like the minutes that John Morrison is giving NFA right now. He has got...
Crooks the rejection. Morrison to Williams, knocked away by Childs. Bird has it. Bruton in the open court, 3-on-2. Benson the rebound and put back. And Ledyard's back within 2. Outlaw using the screen. Childs dives down to grab it. And a hell ball situation. Now that is a tough man's battle right there with Childs and Outlaw.
2 of the strongest guys on the floor, but Outlaw's got to know they're trapping at the top of the perimeter every time that he has the ball out there. They are not going to let him get to the basket. They're going to make him get rid of the basketball. He's got to know better than that. You know, Nick Crooks, who we saw came into the game for NFA, his choices for college, University of Pennsylvania, fantastic school, Penn, or the Colorado School of Mines. When I first read that, I thought it said the Colorado School of Mimes. You know, the guys with the, like, I'm trapped in a box or I'm pulling on a rope. But I think this means rocks.
I can't say I know a lot about the Colorado School of Mines, but the 2 quite divergent choices.
Yeah. You go out to Colorado, you dig for some rocks.
Bird enters inside for Gray, and he is fouled by Crooks, who has plenty to give.
Yeah, I really like what Ledyard decided to do right there. We said they've been struggling in the half court. Well, you know you got Darnay Gray chomping at the bit to get to the basket, and they were determined to get him the ball that time. And Gray with a nice touch at the line as well.
And he hits the second, made both of his free throws today. 4 points in the game. 1:24 to go in the third. Can't get the second. Drabinski the rebound. Mike Ryan back to the scorer's table for NFA.
Bird on Outlaw now. Outlaw's got a size advantage over Bird. Let's see if they try to get him the ball.
Here's Outlaw. The entire front of the defense attacking him immediately. Now Bird will try a hand. Under a minute to go in the third. NFA by a point.
NFA's bigs are jumping out and double teaming any chance they get.
Outlaw to the post. Oh, he muscles it up and in. He wants a foul as well.
How did that get in? Oh, the strength of the running back heading to BC.
18 points for Marcus Outlaw. Done so much damage from downtown. That time simply went down into the post and posted up. Darnay Gray in between two defenders. Ledyard wants a foul. They won't get one. Here comes Williams speeding the other way. Morrison step back three. Williams the rebound.
He is quick.
Fouled on Ledyard. It'll be on Dom Benson. 16.2 seconds to go in the third.
The on our first semifinal, fouls between the two teams as we head into almost to the fourth quarter. Only 5 and 3 for Ledyard and NFA respectively.
8 seconds to go in the third. NFA with the 3-point lead. Outlaw was looking for Morrison. Still 2.9 seconds to go. Time for a good shot for the Wildcats.
They have got to find a way to free him off of screens. He is not able to create when they're double teaming him when he's trying to do it off the dribble. It has to be off the screen.
Here's Ramel Williams. Got to hurry. Gets it to Drabinski, and he couldn't have gotten the shot off anyway. So that'll do it for the third quarter of semifinal number 2 of the ECC tournament. NFA and Ledyard in a tight one. It's the Wildcats leading the Colonels by 3 as we head to the fourth quarter. Take a break here on Game Day, live on theday.com.
Hi, I'm Mark Nickerson, your local Geico agent. No matter where you live or work in Eastern Connecticut, my local Geico office is nearby to save you money. Whether you're in Old Saybrook, Niantic, Norwich, Willimantic, Westerly, Mystic, or near our beautiful new office in Waterford, Geico is just around the corner from you. Call my local Geico office and start your policy right over the phone. Call Geico, where savings is our first policy.
Welcome back to Game Day live on theday.com. Getting ready to start the fourth quarter, semifinal number 2. Ledyard and NFA involved in a tight battle. The Colonels led this one by 11 about midway through the second quarter before NFA rallied to take some control of this game. But they've never led it by more than 5. They'll take a 3-point lead into the start of the fourth quarter. Mark Brown along with Casey O'Neill and Dave Edgecombe. Casey, prediction time. What's going to happen here?
Well, I am pretty certain that Ledyard is going to make a run. The question is going to be whether or not NFA can figure out a way to get Outlaw easier shots. Because right now he is not getting easier shots. My prediction is that Delia Miller, when he gets back into this game off those 4 fouls, is going to decide whether or not that second scorer emerges.
For now, he stays on the bench with those 4, as does Philip Thomas for Ledyard. Darnay Gray whistled for the foul.
And with Philip Thomas on the bench with 4, and now Gray with 4, that's their 2 bigs, both with 4 fouls.
So Mike Ryan will step to the free throw line, where he's a 70% free throw shooter. He's got 12 points on the night. He's played very well. 10 of those points coming in the first half. First free throw is good. Been a big offensive production night for the man who's the best interior defender for Chris Giusti. Tonight, big offensive output, 14. And NFA leads by 5 again, matches their largest.
So far, other than Bruton to the basket and inside to Gray, Ledyard hasn't had much in the way of options from the half court.
Darnay Gray out to Bruton. Bird in the corner. Fakes up Ebo Rivera, who lands on him on the drive.
Yeah, Bird's a good shooter, and he has made shots, and that's his spot right there in the corner. I'm a little surprised to see him forego the shot that time, but he drew the foul instead.
All the way out for Childs off the inbound. Tough floater. High for the rebound is Outlaw. So with the ball and a 5-point lead. Oh, they're going to say he carried it. Outlaw turned it over on the crossover. He doesn't like it, but Tony Gigliotti made the call.
It's probably an accurate call, but I think it probably happens about 30 times a game, so tough one.
Dom Benson on the drive. Blocked by Ryan, but fouled with a body.
You know, all you need to know is that as Dom Benson goes to the line, Ledyard had 35 first half points. They've scored 9 to date in the second half.
Dom Benson at the free throw line. Surprisingly, shoots it at 57%. Trying to salvage 1 of 2. He had 18 points in the quarterfinal victory over Plainfield. So he gets 1 of 2. Cuts the NFA lead to 4.
Ledyard 2-2-1, looking to trap, extending the pressure.
Morrison back out for Outlaw. Now it's Ramel Williams. Finds Drabinski inside, up fake. Ryan the offensive rebound, and he was fouled as he took it up strong. Gray was in the area, but this one could be on Benson. It is.
Lucky that time, I think Gray pleading his case down there that Ryan shoved off, but Ryan has been an absolute workhorse for NFA, doing all of the dirty stuff down low. Rebounds, putbacks, and foul shots.
The 6'6 senior goes to 15 points on the day. And you think about how important that has been with the absence of second leading scorer, Desmond D'Elia Miller, saddled with foul trouble, just 2 points while averaging 13 plus on the season. Ryan can't hit the second. Big rebound from Darnay Gray. You're trailing by 5.
Philip Thomas back into the ball game with those 4 fouls.
Deontay Bruton gets to the basket at will. The scoop. He's got 19.
Ledyard with pressure. Backs off and goes man.
6 minutes to go. NFA with the ball and a 3-point lead. Ramel Williams gave up his dribble. Chris Giusti decides to call a timeout.
Both teams struggling mightily in the half court. And with that in mind, NFA, we see, goes to Desmond D'Elia Miller back in the ball game with those 4 fouls. So both Thomas for Ledyard and D'Elia Miller, both with 4 fouls in for their respective teams.
Well, this one has been tight. We knew it could be. 2 incredible competitors, coaches, players. Ledyard winning both of the regular season matchups. At Ledyard 61-42 and at NFA 57-52.
You know, Mark, it feels like NFA's up 15 points when in fact they're only up 3. I mean, but Ledyard's kind of just lurking right now. And I said there will be a Ledyard run in this second half. So
Ramel Williams running the point for NFA. Here's D'Elia Miller. Gets it back from Drabinski. They double team him immediately. So you see the strategy. Take it out of Outlow's hands. Take it out of D'Elia Miller's hands. See if the others can beat you. There's the double again. D'Elia Miller. And he was fouled. It's not Philip Thomas. It looked like it, but official Mike Riley pointing instead to Andrew Bird, and that's... Is it 5 on Bird? But it looked like he had pointed to Andrew Bird instead of Philip Thomas.
Replacing Philip Thomas.
And it will be on Thomas. So he is out. Make that correction. Five and a half minutes to go without Philip Thomas. Ledyard down 3. D'Elia Miller to the basket and gets the roll. Only his second hoop, but it's a big one.
Yeah, they need that scoring from him. This end of the floor, they're going to have to try to get it to Gray. With Thomas out of the game, they really need scoring right now. Is it going to be Bruton to the basket or inside to Darnay Gray?
Bruton fouled as he went up. Foul is on Ramel Williams.
With 5 minutes remaining, it is going to be very important for D'Elia Miller to not pick up his 5th foul on a reach.
Bruton at the free throw line. Strokes the first. 69% free throw shooter on the year. Takes and makes the most free throws of any of the Colonels. Can't get the second. D'Elia Miller gets it off to Ramel Williams. Drabinski spinning in the lane, but a foul on Ledyard. It'll go against Dom Benson.
Oh, but the big man, light on his feet.
That was a tremendous spin route. Darnay Gray was signaling for a travel. But a quality move by Brandon Drabinski. Throw in. This comes back in. He'll replace Darnay Gray.
Yeah, with Thomas out of the game right now, they cannot afford Gray to go out of this game either. So they're going to give him a rest now. And that makes them small. This is a small Ledyard team out there right now.
Dom Benson at 6'2", the biggest of them, but probably the strongest player out on the court. Inside is Kyrie Childs, also listed at 6'2".
Yeah, and this Ledyard team is going to be Bruton going to the basket. They are going to really struggle to score.
And Dave Cornish going to use a timeout. It'll be a full 4:37 to go and a 5-point lead for NFA. We talked at the start of this game, Casey, about the excellence of the Ledyard Colonels. Nobody's won more games in the ECC the last couple of years than them. They haven't won the ECC title. They've beaten Norwich Free Academy twice during the regular season. It's important to win regular season games. I think we can all agree. But this is the one that really counts right now.
When Dave Cornish and Troy McKelvin were brought over to run the Ledyard basketball program, they knew that they had to overcome a culture that making the state tournament would have been a successful season. That being involved was successful. And the first thing they had to do is bring to this school the idea that we're going to win championships. They haven't been able to do that yet. And getting the first one is often the most difficult. Last year, they ran into the same thing they're running into this year, which is a school like NFA that knows how to win. And Ledyard right now is trying to figure out how to overcome that obstacle and get their first taste of a victory in a championship atmosphere. They have not been able to do it.
Setting screens for Bruton out front. Settles for the 3. Rebound Outlaw, taken away by River Thomas. Outlaw may have fouled him going back. Definitely an NFA foul here. And it's going to be on Mike Ryan. So not what looked like it could have been the initial contact from Outlaw, but instead the next one when Ryan engaged him.
Yeah, Dave Cornish called this tournament a must-win tournament for his team. He said, we're out of excuses. There's no more reason to come up with anything other than win, and they have not been able to do it up until this point, and they're struggling in this one.
Well, River Thomas used it all on that one. Took a couple trips around the inside of the ring before dropping. This one to cut it to 3. How about the block out and rebound from Drabinski, but he's got 3 Colonels around him. And Dave Cornish used a timeout. Check that, I'm sorry. It is Giusti using it because it was NFA in trouble.
One thing that Ledyard is doing, which is really very impressive and is causing NFA fits, is that any time NFA gets a defensive rebound, Ledyard immediately traps that big man.
Yeah.
And with only the one real ball handler, really, Ramel Williams is only the only real ball handler that NFA has. They are causing havoc every time Ledyard gets a defensive rebound by trapping.
1 timeout left for NFA to negotiate these last 4 minutes and 12 seconds. So, with Ledyard's incredible pressure and trying to protect the 4-point lead, could be a factor. They might need more. They're not going to get more.
No, they won't. Well, they can ask, but I don't think I think what's going to be interesting here is with the basketball, you know that Ledyard's going to pressure again. But if they can break the pressure, is NFA going to try to take some air out of the ball? They're up 4 right now. Are they going to try to eat a minute in this possession and just try to get this thing down into a manageable number? Because I can't imagine going 4-12 with only 1 timeout left with the degree of difficulty that they've had getting the ball up the floor.
Makes sense to try to eat some minutes, but Ledyard, doing it against Ledyard could be tough. Drabinski helping to bring it up. Gave up the dribble. Gives to Outlaw. And a blocking foul on Ledyard. Kyrie Childs picks up the personal.
I don't love that foul only because NFA is struggling to get the ball up the floor. Ledyard's just putting pressure on. Outlaw's a little bit out of control on the sideline, trying to break pressure. That's sort of letting them off the hook right there. I think NFA got a little break there because I think Ledyard did everything right in that situation.
It'll set up Marcus Outlaw at the free throw line. Hits the front end. 19 points for Outlaw. Leads the team. Ties with Deontay Bruton for game high. And he's got them both. Outlaw hit the game winner against Bacon for a 3 and against Waterford in the quarterfinals of the ECC tournament to get NFA there. Benson lost it in traffic. Williams to Drabinski. For a big man, Drabinski's been a decent outlet for NFA as they've tried to deal with the pressure. That foul will go against River Thomas as he was right up on Outlaw.
And we are seeing it kind of slowly slip away right now from Ledyard. At the line, the next one puts NFA in the double bonus. Outlaw's got a chance to extend a 6-point lead. Right now, Ledyard in a precarious situation.
And Outlaw once again hits the front end.
Can you just tell that he's a Division I athlete? I mean, he is as calm at the foul line. I mean, he slows it down. The shot is absolutely stress-free. Darnay Gray back into the ball game for Ledyard with 3:36 remaining and 4 fouls. How many minutes can he give him? That'll be important.
John Morrison up off the bench for NFA, ready to check in at the next stoppage. Battle for the rebound. Scramble, and finally the tie-up call. That was a rugby scrum. 4 men involved. And Delia Miller will come out with 3:32 left as Chris Giusti tries to dose those minutes with the 4 fouls of Delia Miller.
I think it was fortunate that time that Drabinski didn't try to call the timeout. He could have wasted NFA's last timeout, and that would have been a big deal. But fortunately, the tie-up happened before I think he could, and that's actually a break. Even though the ball goes over to Ledyard, I think it's a break for NFA because I think a timeout there would have been, you know, a crippling kind of a timeout. NFA's gotten minutes from Drabinski, Morrison, that I don't think they expected to get tonight. Whatever happens tonight, I think Coach Giusti's got to think that he's really learned something about some of his bench players.
Stepping up for a big performance when they need it. Here's Darnay Gray, lost it. Ramel Williams, double dribble along the sideline under extreme pressure.
You can see Ledyard's only real offensive half-court set is get it into Darnay Gray and get out of the way, but you can see the shoulder still bothering Gray. He's favoring it. He's trying to get it loose. Not 100%.
Coming up on 3 minutes to go. Largest deficit of the game facing Ledyard, and then the driving hoop from Kyrie Childs cuts it to 5.
Good no call. Ryan tried to pick up the charge. Good no call that time.
Drabinski did a nice job helping break pressure. Now Williams free for the layup. No basket, but undercut Williams was by Darnay Gray. So 2 free throws and the 5th foul on Gray, we believe.
Great job by Drabinski helping to break pressure. And Williams, not a good foul shooter, but that one goes down for him. An absolute break for NFA.
46% on the season, but the veteran point guard hitting him here late in the semifinals. Can't hit that one. Long rebound goes to River Thomas. Deontay Bruton on the drive again. Darnay Gray the putback.
Yep, Miller went for the block, left Gray underneath to clean up. Ledyard gets to set up their pressure now. Oh!
River Thomas the steal, but he missed the layup. Out low. No travel called. The Ledyard fans want it. Ramel Williams under incredible pressure going in the wrong direction. Still a scramble and a timeout used by NFA. Good news, bad news. You'll keep the ball. Bad news, that's your last timeout.
NFA has nobody that can break this Ledyard pressure. They are having absolute impossible fits. Drabinski did a nice job, but none of the big men. Williams is the only ball handler. Marcus Outlaw is not a ball handler that can break pressure. Neither is Delia Miller. Right now, they got nobody who can break this pressure. They have a 4-point lead and the ball, but with no timeouts and 2:12 left, I like where Ledyard's at because they can't break pressure right now.
And we believe 2 timeouts left for Ledyard.
We thought Darnay Gray had fouled out of this game, but evidently 4 fouls for Gray, so the next one for him will get him out. But, you know, down 4 and with the ball, you would normally think that Ledyard would be behind the 8 ball, but I think they're feeling pretty good right now. I think that they still have that run left in them because Ledyard knows that NFA can't break pressure.
Confirming now 2 timeouts left for Ledyard, and we know that NFA has just used their last.
I think you should prepare for some chaos. Ledyard right now is going to try to drop a pipe bomb in this thing and make it as chaotic as possible.
They've caused serious problems for NFA, who seems to be hanging on for dear life here against that pressure. Here's Ramel Williams. Right now, simply guarded by one man, Deontay Bruton, but here comes the double team. Delia Miller. Tied up. And the held ball, possession arrow going to NFA. So now the possession arrow favors Ledyard once they inbound this, and the 2 timeouts for Ledyard and none for NFA.
And if you didn't know it was serious enough, Dave Cornish has taken off the tie.
Outlaw with River Thomas in his face, rips through. And a foul called on River Thomas. You know, it's a tough situation the referees are in, all right? Ledyard, they can get up in your face and guard without fouling, but they're so aggressive on every bounce of the ball, they are risking contact fouls.
You know, they call the foul on River Thomas on what I thought was the least physical of the 3 moments in that set. He was up, he had his hand on Outlaw's arm, he had his hand on Outlaw's other arm, and then when they finally called the foul, it seemed like a phantom foul. But he was definitely making contact with Outlaw, and the key now is the 2 foul shots.
Outlaw to the line. Double bonus. So no more 1-and-1 shooting for NFA. And New London will be in the double bonus. Ledyard will be in the double bonus on the next NFA foul. So 2 free throws good for Marcus Outlaw.
NFA in the zone.
Andrew Bird catch and shoot. Ebro Rivera fighting for it and has it. Ramel Williams looking up for Delia Miller. Marcus Outlaw there. 3-point lead under 1.5 minutes to go. Splitting the double team. And Outlaw will go back to the line.
That foul is going to be on River Thomas.
River Thomas, Marcus Outlaw at the line, giving 2.
Well, we didn't see that one coming.
But you know what? Look at the reaction. That's the best part. That's when you know you're a confident veteran player, because he's just laughing it off. Happens.
Dom Benson back into the game for Darnay Gray, as Dave Cornish is going to try to manage the foul trouble there.
This is also their best pressure team, so this is going to set up their trap coming the other side.
Comes right back and makes the second. 24 points for Outlaw. Deontay Bruton.
Ramel Williams has really made a huge difference since he took over guarding Bruton, harassing him, matching his quickness.
Oh, how about Dom Benson? Got the offensive rebound, but Bird couldn't hit. River Thomas won't go off glass. And a held ball. What a battle between Kyrie Childs and Marcus Outlaw. We've had those 2 locked up for a good portion of this game. It's going to remain Ledyard basketball.
And you see Marcus Outlaw, you know, big-time players play big in big spots, and Marcus Outlaw is leaving it all on the court right now, trying to exert his will onto this game, if nothing more.
So Ledyard with the ball, trailing by 7, 56.4 seconds left. Possession arrow will now favor NFA. And a 5-second count. Didn't get it inbound in 5 seconds.
And they're heading for the exits right now, are the fans. They think this one's over. I'm not so sure. NFA still has to get this thing up court.
It's been a problem. Here's Outlaw. Hesitation move, makes it up the sideline. Mike Ryan, trouble with the handle, now trapped on the baseline. Taken away by Kyrie Childs, 45 seconds to go.
Oh, no!
River Thomas slips on the floor, and remember, that's where the players had just hit the floor for a held ball situation. No doubt, a slippery spot, and terrible luck for the Colonels.
NFA has got to use Mike Ryan to help break pressure. They're leaving him alone. He's got to become an outlet.
There is Mike Ryan, knocked away by Bruton. Layup from Benson, 35 seconds to go. It's a 5-point game. Up ahead, D'Elia Miller ahead of the field, 28 seconds to go. A 7-point lead for NFA, and a foul on Rivera as Bruton took it to the basket.
Well, the NFA fans are chanting it's all over, but with 7 points, 22 seconds, and the inability to break pressure that they've really struggled with, I don't think so. NFA has done a nice job. They finally started looking for the long outlet pass, the long pass up court. Up till then, they've been allowing themselves to get trapped.
Okay, Ibo Rivera has fouled out. You don't get a timeout here, but you get some time to replace him. And right now, Chris Giusti is using it like a timeout.
Yeah, that's a good coach right there. He's going to get Drabinski back into the ball game for Rivera. But you're exactly right. Anything you can right now to diagram some plays. He's diagramming how to break pressure is what he's doing right now.
Yeah, that's the big thing. Strong with the basketball, make your free throws. And you're going to Friday.
We came into tonight thinking we might see that yet unseen Ledyard New London final. The one everyone wanted to see. The two teams, were they destined to finally meet this year? But the state champion, Woodstock Centaur, said, oh, wait a minute. We have something to talk about too. And the NFA Wildcats are saying, you know what? We want a place in this final. We live in this final also.
Bruton gets them both. Now up over 20 points for the game. 22 seconds to go. 5-point game. Outlaw finds Drabinski. Back to Outlaw. Going long for D'Elia Miller. Trying to move the ball ahead of the double team, but the foul before he could release it. So D'Elia Miller will go to the line, and that's not a bad thing for NFA. He's a 71% free throw shooter.
You know, they are a different team with D'Elia Miller on the floor. He provides them athleticism and scoring, length, and an additional ball handler. That was a very important pressure break right there. But no matter what happens, we keep having to, we can't say enough about the minutes that John Morrison gave them in place of D'Elia Miller. Stabilized, scored some points. Big minutes for NFA.
1 of 2 for D'Elia Miller for a 6-point game. And a Ledyard timeout to try to set things up. It's still a 2-possession game, but they got to do everything right to the Colonels.
Choices here are, do you try to take an outside shot, battle for a rebound, and then set up pressure? Or do you try to get an easy interior score, maybe with Darnay Gray, and then set up pressure? The one thing we know for sure is that NFA is going to have to break pressure at least a couple of more times if they want to end this thing.
This setting up as a potentially very bitter pill for Ledyard to swallow if in fact they can't make the miracle comeback here in the final 16.6. Program still looking for their first ever ECC tournament title. Had a fantastic year, and in fact have beaten Norwich Free Academy both meetings in the regular season.
The least likely final we thought coming in would have been Woodstock NFA. We are 16.5 seconds and 6 points away from that very thing Friday night.
Bruton goes deep in the corner. Dom Benson lost it. They're using a lot of time here. D'Elia Miller blocked the Thomas attempt. Ball scrambling around, and that's going to do it. NFA, the 4 seed, has stunned Ledyard and will go to the championship game in the ECC tournament to take on Woodstock Academy.
Wow, well, say what you want, but NFA has got a great winning tradition there. Neil Curlin started a program years ago that Chris Giusti's taken over, and Chris Giusti has got to be very, very proud of his Wildcats tonight, living up to the legacy he inherited from Neil Curlin. The NFA Wildcats know how to win, led by Marcus Outlow's 24 points and the really gutsy 15 points of Mike Ryan. NFA heading to the finals on Friday.
So the celebration, at least for now, for NFA, they've got one more hill to climb on Friday. We'll take a quick break here on Game Day Live on theday.com and wrap it up from Waterford in a moment.
We can all talk about various cases that we've had, but one case we're particularly proud of is one where Matt Schaffner, one of my partners, represented a family who lost someone in the attacks of 9/11. Matt was very diligent and was able to help that family. We weren't compensated for that because we felt it was important to give back not only to that family, but to the community as well. The personal satisfaction of representing that family was immense. Overall, I think you'll find that the one word that describes Sussman Shapiro is dedicated. We are dedicated to our clients' causes. We're aggressive as needed. But at the end of the day, the client leaves here knowing that not only did we do a good job for them, but we also cared about them as an individual or as an institution.
At the MJ Sullivan Automotive Corner, our #1 goal has always been to earn your business for life. As one of the largest dealerships in Eastern Connecticut, selling Chevrolet, Cadillac, Buick, and Hyundai, we accomplish our goal by not just offering the best buying experience, but more importantly, the best service experience after the sale. That philosophy is what built this company from a single-base service station nearly 45 years ago to who we are today. So experience the difference and let us earn your business for life. The MJ Sullivan Automotive Corner in New London or at mjsullivanauto.com.
Welcome back to Game Day Live on theday.com. The semifinals of the ECC tournament are done, and we will have our finals matchup on Friday. But right now, we're going to go down to Dave Edgecombe after NFA's thrilling 63-57 victory over Ledyard. Dave, you're with the winners.
Thanks, Mark. Now, they just put their game faces on, but just a second ago, they were jubilant. First, Coach, it was a hard fought. Early on, you withstood their run, but in the end, pulled away. What was the secret to the win tonight?
These seniors. I don't go anywhere on camera without these seniors behind me. They always got my back. It's a symbiotic relationship when you're on a team. The players got to believe in the coach got to believe in the players, and when that happens, magic things happen. But we got one more game left. We didn't win anything. I've been at NFA for 14 years. I've been to the ECC championship game now. This is my 10th time. We've only cut down the nets twice. We want to do it a third time Friday night.
Thanks, Coach. Now I'll start with Marcus, 24 points, a real gritty win. I don't know how many rebounds, but I mean, somebody knows. He hit on it, the senior group, but you're clearly their leader. Talk about your guys and the effort that you guys put forward tonight.
Man, we have this chemistry for a long, long time. Through middle school ball, through AAU. And, these are my boys. I'll go into battle with these guys, and they get my back, and I got their backs, and they know that. But we're a special group. When we play together, and we're focused and we're locked in on what the mission is, we go and get it done. We go through losses together, we go through tough times, but a time like this when we go through a nice win and a nice team win, it's great. I love these guys.
Part of that adversity, Desmond, early foul trouble, had to sit most of the first half and a little bit of the second half. What was the mentality for the seniors, especially with one of your guys down?
Shout out to John Morrison. The junior who came in and he's been off a couple games now, but he stepped up in this one. The one game that we needed him, he had big shots. He played gritty defense, and he was able to give us that boost we needed when Des was down. And when Des came in, he kept his composure. It's not his best game, but he knows that. But he stayed with it. We played tough defense, and we got the job done, and I'm thankful, man.
Guys, great win. I'll see you again Friday night right here.
Yes, sir.
Mark, Casey.
All right, thanks, Dave. I think it's really refreshing to hear. tonight was a great win, of course. We know that. But as a team and as a coaching staff, they're saying we haven't won anything yet.
I think the two great things that I heard right there was exactly that. A coach who's clearly very aware of both what this victory does mean and what it doesn't mean. It means they played a great game and upset the number 1 seed and they're in the championship game. But he's completely aware that they haven't won anything yet. And then I can't say enough about Marcus Outlaw. Not only was he completely aware of all of his teammates and what was going on, he was, talking to Delia Miller saying not his best game, but he hung in there. And the shout out to John Morrison, who we said played great minutes. I mean, that's why this team, they go as their leadership goes. That group of senior leaders right there led by Division I football player, but clearly, that kind of an athlete, Marcus Outlaw.
Outlaw had 24 points on the night. And let's not forget Mike Ryan, a guy who averages 5 points a game. Their big man up front. He screens, he rebounds, he defends. Tonight, he came up with 15 big points.
We talked so much about Darnay Gray in the opening, and he certainly, is that kind of a force. And Miller came in and played, Ryan came in and played straight up with Gray and really dominated in the post, scoring early on and getting some really important rebounds. I think this has got to be a very encouraging effort for NFA and for him moving forward into the finals, where he's going to have to do it again against those big men of Woodstock.
So the top 2 seeds are out. It'll be a 3 versus 4 battle as Woodstock and NFA will battle it out in the ECC Boys Championship game. And we'll have that for you right here from Waterford High School on Friday for the ECC title. Pregame begins at 6:45, tip-off at 7 right here live. Game day on theday.com. So your final scores tonight, 2 semifinals. Woodstock wins it 62-55 over New London. NFA defeats Ledyard by a similar score, 63-57. Woodstock and NFA for the title 2 nights from now. For Casey O'Neill, Dave Edgecombe, and our entire crew, I'm Mark Brown. So long for now. That's going to do it for the semifinals here on Game Day, live on theday.com. See you on Friday.